Hello, my name is Mary Miele. I am a tutor, a teacher, a parent, and the founder of Evolved Education Company. We are a full service tutoring and advisement company for all of your educational solutions. On this podcast, we'll explore ideas, techniques, and resources that you can use to support your school aged child to conquer any learning issue. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, everyone. It is the Friday after Labor Day, 2021, if you're listening to this in a more live, timely manner. If you're listening on recording, then this should give you some context as to what we're talking about today. We are going to get into a series where we're going to be talking about school admissions. And although we are going to reference schools in the New York City and tri-state area, many of the concepts that we're going to discuss are easily applied globally in the school admissions area and work. So if you're listening from wherever you are, I'm sure you're going to be able to take some of this information and put it into place for your child. If you're moving, if you're relocating, if you're looking for a new school for your child, all of this will be things you can use. So the first thing I want you to think about when you think about placing your child into a new school has to do with their development. I want you to take out a sheet of paper and let's just write down a couple of areas that I want you to look at when you assess how your child's doing within their learning development. We're going to look at language, motor, social emotional development, and the cognition or pre-literacy and pre-math area. So first is going to be language. We're going to assess how your child is understanding, following directions, understanding that language piece. Does it take many, many different times for you to tell your child to do something? That might be their processing of language. That might be taking a little bit of time. Do you need to show your child a gesture as well as tell them what to do so that they will be able to follow that direction? Or are they very strong with just hearing your directions and following them? In terms of expressive language, are they able to communicate their needs? Are they articulating themselves well? Are they writing according to the proper formats and ways that they need to be writing at their age group? Then you want to look at their fine motor. So are they coloring? Are they having a correct pencil grip? Are they able to write words, type, put on clothing with the buttons and the zippers, things like that? Then you want to look at gross motor. So that has to do with their big body movements, their visual motor planning. Often you'll see this in sports or in other kinds of bigger gross motor movements, going up and down steps. You want to look at their social emotional development. So how are their friendships going? How are the understanding of the emotions? How's the regulation that they're having in their day? Are they able to regulate their emotions and bring very heightened feelings down to a place where they can be ready to learn and ready to interact? Also, you want to look at their pre-literacy, pre-math cognition pieces. So puzzles, sound letter correspondence, number sense for our younger kiddos. And then, of course, as we get into middle school and high school, we want to know a little bit more about their reasoning and memory and executive functioning and processing, as well as how they're doing with their reading, writing, math, science, and history, those kinds of academic areas. If you're not sure about any of this, it's okay, but I want you as a parent to feel comfortable jumping in and being a scientist, observing these areas, writing down your observations. You don't have to make sense of them, but you can just collect evidence essentially and give them to an expert who can help you to make sense of what you're seeing. So if all you're able to do is write down the language skills you see your child hearing and expressing, the fine motor skills you feel your child has, the gross motor skills you feel your child has, how they're developing socially and emotionally, and also how they're doing within their learning of typical literacy, math, and different subject areas. That is great because that will help the expert to make sense of where your child is at in their overall learning development, but also what types of learning environments will promote them in the way that they may need to be, or amplify some of their strengths, or address any areas of challenge. So that's the first area I want you to work on, is just getting that data down around your child. The second thing I want you to do is just dig into the strengths and challenges. What is your child genuinely interested in? What elements is your child displaying talents and real areas of strength? These are things I want you to record and understand. They're also fluid, so they're not going to be name it and forever we're going to have this particular interest and it's never going to change. It just helps to, understand where some of these strengths are. And we certainly want a school to be able to amplify strengths, to amplify talents, to give more in-depth instruction around these areas that our children are gifted within. So we want to know what those are. Similarly, we want to know what challenges your child has and what kinds of challenging situations your child has been in so that we can understand how they've moved through some of those challenges. So write that down as well. So you see your real job here is to be that scientist. Find out how we're developing, find out about these strengths and challenges. You can do this because you're on the front line with your child every day. You really do hold a lot of really great information. So just get it out on paper so we, the experts, can help you make sense of this as it pertains to schools. From there, we're going to take a look at some of these learning pieces, and even our youngest kids, we can see what they're doing and how they're moving through their learning and identify some learning constructs that could be better or not really ideal for a particular learner. So we want to know what kinds of activities does your child gravitate towards if they're given a choice? What kind of independence does your child have around their learning? Is there a lot of guidance needed or not really any at all? Is your child also moving at a rapid pace in terms of what they're learning, or are they better at getting a bite-sized piece of information, one and then the next and then the next and then the next? And finally, is there any area of support that you've been giving your child, and what has that been, and how is that going to also need to be in this next placement of school? So once we have all of this information, then we can start to construct what we call our school wish list. This wish list is literally a list of the ingredients that your child would benefit from having within a particular school. Everything from what does your child need to have in terms of the pace of instruction, the type of instruction, what kinds of developmental areas do we want to tap into a little bit more? How do we want to tap into them, etc. But you're not done when you do this. I'm just going to tell you, it's just one part of the whole exploration piece of this work. And when you come into Evolved, what we do here is we do a 3-part intake. And this is really one of them. So we ask you, the parent, about all of the things I just mentioned in our first meeting. Then we meet with your student and we give your student an assessment so we can understand really where they are. And the final meeting with you is really to talk particulars about schools and your connection to different types of schools, and school jargon is explained and school mission statements are unpacked and really taught to you so we can get your your real connection to different types of schools. Only after all of this work is done do we give you a school list. And that's because we just want to be as comprehensive and accurate as we can be with this, because we know your time is so limited in terms of going and researching all of the wonderful schools that are out there in the world. And we want to be able to give you a list of schools that is founded on an understanding of your child, an understanding of your family's wish list and what you guys want as a school for your child. And when we do the work in this way, we are serving you in the best way that we know how. So I hope that helps as a first part to all of this, as we're talking this month about schools and school admission processes. Many of these concepts, like I said, you're going to be able to use no matter where you are. If you're looking for a college even, or if you're looking for a boarding school, if you're looking for a kindergarten program, I have a very strong feeling that many of these concepts will help you to navigate your process in the best way possible. So if you have further questions, please reach out to us. We do answer emails. We do respond by creating future podcasts that are here because of you and your great questions. You can find us at hello@evolveded.com. That's EVOLVEDED.com. And again, I appreciate your support, but also please know that we are here to serve you and to make sure that your child is learning at their very best. Have a great rest of your week and start to the wonderful school year. Thank you so much for listening to Evolved Education. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and write a review. You can send us any and all educational questions to hello@evolveded.com, and we'll try to address it in our upcoming episodes. That's evolveded, EVOLVEDED.com. To learn more about how we can support you, go to evolveded.com and book a complimentary 15-minute phone call with us. Are you a professional educator? You can join our teaching school membership platform to gain support and engage in a community interested in learning together. Click on the link in our show notes to learn more.